So, the F1 season is in full gear and we're just a few days out from the first race, and all the cars have dropped their new liveries. If you watched my previous video where I ranked all the liveries, you would have noticed one key thing I kept saying. All these black, 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 red and black, red and black, red, yellow and black, like, and this one is also a lot of black too. Like, no, give me a goddamn colorful car. This is F1. I'm not driving commercial on the highway here. Yes, why are all the cars turning black? Alfa Romeo, black. Mercedes, black. Red Bull, pretty much always been, but black. Haas, black. AlphaTauri, black. Even Ferrari, who's famously known for being red, has now turned to being more of a black car. Why is this? Most famously, Mercedes this season is going from full-on silver to being black, which is actually really interesting since they, in the beginning, turned from being a black car into being the first car being silver. But why are all the cars doing this? It all has to do with weight. With introducing the new car that was being used in 2022, there were also new regulations for how much your car could weigh. It got heavier. Now, we all know that a heavier car means a slower lap time. So they then made it so that the minimum weight every car had to be was 798 kilos. Now, there's several components that affect this, but one of the smaller parts is the paint. As we could hear from the Alfa Romeo chief technical engineer.
It saves a couple of 100 grams, and even if probably last year we were among those that did best work in terms of minimum weight of the car.
Now, as we could hear, it saves a couple of 100 grams all over, but is it really worth it? We can see teams like Alpine have chosen to do the opposite, and their marketing team has chosen them to have a more pink and colorful livery with blue colors because they think that that's important. On the other hand, other teams who see the importance of having aerodynamically and engineeringly clever cars will choose to have less of a colorful car. Now, it's not like you could just slap any type of color on the car. You need to pick the right type of paint because the carbon fiber you will put this on needs to be aerodynamic so that dirt and other things that will affect the car if it gets on there doesn't. If you get a lot of dirt and mud and sand on the car, that will affect the aerodynamic of the car and you will get a slower lap. Now, there's a lot of different types of paint which will affect differently. All these different types that would have at different parts of the car will affect the type of weight. You need several layers of coating, and these layers will add up to several grams and potentially kilograms on the car's weight. Reducing this by only having one color will also then reduce the paint on the car overall, which is where some of the weaker teams could gain an advantage. This is also the reason why we've seen a switchover from a light metallic paint to more of a matte style. Like teams like Ferrari especially has turned over to matte paint because metallic paint weighs a lot more than matte paint. We can therefore see that over the whole course of the season, the grams will add up potentially for these teams to choose to have more of a color. But can we guarantee that it will change the effect for a team like Mercedes when we still see teams who are more of a black color still be at the back of the track? So is this going too far? Some may think that F1 is all about the engineering and design of the car isn't the most important part. Now, I would disagree with this. I like to think of it the same way I think of football jerseys. If they all were the same without different jerseys on, why don't they all just have the same design? It's because of the supporters. Formula 1 is a competitive sport with millions of supporters, and it's this differentiating that will make it more interesting for the fans. I think that at the end of the day, the engineering is very important, but a big part of the appeal for F1 and any sport is the color scheme, and losing that will have a downgrade on the sport in total. Just imagine if every soccer team turned their jersey black and white with no design. It would not be interesting to watch because that's a part of the appeal. That's why for me, I am a big supporter of the colorful cars. Not to mention the problem we will see on track now with especially Alfa Romeo and Ferrari looking very similar. That's my take on it, guys. What do you think? Leave a comment what you think is the best thing to do. That's going to be my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.